even before Michael Jordan won the title in 91. From 88 on, it was clear that Michael Jordan, even with Larry Bird or Magic Johnson winning championships, it was clear that Michael Jordan was the best player in the world. Larry Bird called him God in gym shorts. I can say that.
Smith has reached his limit. The GOAT debate has gone on for years, and now he's drawing a clear line. No guesses, no imaginary scenarios, just what the record shows. The more this conversation continues, the more one thing stands out. Many LeBron supporters are arguing with emotion instead of evidence. The numbers tell a story, the championships tell a story, the defensive accomplishments tell a story, and now Stephen A. is making that case louder than ever. Before we get into it, hit the like button, subscribe to NBA Showdown, and leave a comment below. Do you agree with Stephen A., or do you think LeBron's fans have a point? Let's get into it. Stephen A. Smith starts by presenting a long list of accomplishments that immediately shapes the discussion. He points to Michael Jordan's championships, finals record, defensive honors, and scoring achievements all at once. His argument isn't focused only on career points or how long someone played. It's centered on complete dominance at both ends of court. He also emphasizes that Jordan accomplished all of this during an era when the game was far more physical. Jordan finished his career with 6 championships and never needed a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. He captured 10 scoring titles while also earning a reputation as one of the league's toughest defenders. When those accomplishments are compared directly with LeBron's resume, Stephen A. believes the GOAT argument starts to shift. LeBron has put together one of the greatest careers in basketball history with remarkable consistency and longevity. However, according to Stephen A., he still hasn't surpassed Jordan in the category that matters most: overall impact on the game. Rather than building his case on personal opinion, Stephen A. points to basketball achievements and career accomplishments that, in his view, are difficult to dispute.
The obvious. You do know that MJ has 6 titles, right? And LeBron has 4. You do know that, right? You do know that MJ was undefeated in all 6 NBA Finals appearances. Do you know that? You do know that Michael Jordan never allowed an NBA Finals series to get to a 7th game. Did you know that? I'm sure you did. Did you know he's a 10-time champion? And LeBron has won a scoring title 1 time? Did you know he's a 9-time first-team all-defensive player? LeBron James did that 5 times. Did you know that Michael Jordan is the former Defensive Player of the Year, 1988? LeBron James has never won a Defensive Player of the Year.
Stephen A. then shifts the discussion to another major point: the value of excelling on both ends of the floor. He openly praises LeBron's career and even says he deserves to be ranked 2nd all-time, which is high praise in itself. But according to Stephen A., there's still a clear separation between 1st and 2nd. He also points out that LeBron is on the verge of being swept, something Jordan never experienced in a best-of-7 playoff series. That comparison matters because it highlights the level of consistency and dominance Jordan displayed when the pressure was at its highest. He never allowed an NBA Finals to reach a Game 7, and he was never swept in a 7-game playoff series. To Stephen A., those accomplishments reflect the relentless competitive mindset that defined Jordan's career. Stephen A. isn't relying only on statistics. He's adding the context behind those numbers, the kind of details he believes separate legendary players from the greatest player ever. From his perspective, as remarkable as LeBron's career has been, it still falls short of matching everything Jordan accomplished.
We're talking about what you do on both sides of the court, and we're talking about Michael Jordan, in my mind, being the greatest, but not throwing any shade on LeBron James because he's the worthy number 2. But he's about to get swept.
Stephen A. then brings up Jordan's early playoff setbacks to show that even his losses carried a different story. Yes, Jordan was swept twice early in his career, but both came in best-of-5 series against Larry Bird's Boston Celtics. Once the NBA moved to the best-of-7 format, Jordan was never swept again. Stephen A. argues that this speaks volumes about Jordan's ability to adapt and respond to adversity. For him, the conversation goes beyond championship totals. It's about the overall story of Jordan's dominance. He points out that Jordan reached the top during an era when excuses carried little weight. He took his losses, improved his game, and eventually took control of the league without relying on a super team or outside narratives to strengthen his legacy. Stephen A. uses that comparison to argue that, while LeBron's career has been extraordinary, it comes with more qualifiers and debates. In his view, that's why many arguments placing LeBron above Jordan are driven more by emotion than by the complete body of evidence.
Hey, Michael Jordan, he got swept twice, just like LeBron did. But it was in best of 5 series in 86 and 87 to Larry Bird, McHale, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, and those boys. In a best of 5 series. Michael Jordan has never gotten swept in a best of 7 series in his career.
Stephen A. then turns to another part of the GOAT debate that he believes doesn't get enough attention: how a player was viewed during the peak of his career. He argues that throughout LeBron James' prime, there were recurring discussions about who the league's best player actually was. At different times, names like Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Stephen Curry enter that conversation. He contrasts that with Michael Jordan's era, where he says there was no real debate. According to Stephen A., Jordan's status as the NBA's top player was widely accepted, not because of media coverage or social media discussions, but because players, coaches, and analysts all recognized it. In his view, there was little uncertainty about who stood above everyone else. Stephen A. argues that true greatness leaves no room for constant debate. It settles a conversation on its own. He believes that, unlike Jordan, LeBron's place in the GOAT discussion has consistently required support and defense from fans and media, and he sees that as an important distinction when comparing the two careers.
Do you understand that during the LeBron James era, there were debates as to whether or not he was the best in the world, because Kobe was still playing at one time. Tim Duncan was still playing for a large chunk of that time. And ultimately, Steph Curry has been playing a large chunk of that time. Do you know that when Michael Jordan was playing, there was never a debate ever as to who was the best in the world?
Stephen A. follows with another point that he believes strengthens Jordan's case. He argues that Jordan was already viewed as the best player in the world well before winning his first NBA championship. By 1988, despite Magic Johnson and Larry Bird still being among the league's biggest stars, Jordan had already earned that level of recognition. He also points to the respect Jordan received from his peers. Stephen A. highlights Larry Bird's famous remark describing Jordan as God disguised as Michael Jordan, presenting it as more than just praise. In his view, it was a legendary player acknowledging another player's extraordinary greatness. According to Stephen A., LeBron has never inspired that same level of universal recognition from his contemporaries. He argues that Jordan never had a campaign for respect or convince people of his greatness. Players, coaches, and basketball observers recognized on their own and openly said so. Stephen A.'s message is that those who witnessed Jordan's rise firsthand understood just how dominant he was, and that shared recognition remains one of the strongest parts of his legacy.
Even before Michael Jordan won the title in 91, from 88 on, it was clear that Michael Jordan, even with Larry Bird or Magic Johnson winning championships, it was clear that Michael Jordan was the best player in the world. Larry Bird called him God in gym shorts.
Stephen A. wraps up his argument by focusing on what he believes is the mindset behind many of LeBron's supporters. During his exchange with Shannon Sharpe, he asks why some people seem personally offended whenever someone says LeBron isn't the greatest of all time. Although Shannon says he doesn't take it personally, Stephen A. argues that his reaction suggests otherwise. To him, that's evidence that the discussion is often driven by emotion rather than basketball facts. Stephen A. believes that defending LeBron's legacy has become more than just debating the game. In his view, it has turned into a personal issue for many fans. But, he argues, emotions cannot change what happened on the court or rewrite the history books. He says that this is where the case for LeBron begins to lose strength, because Jordan's resume never depended on emotional arguments. His accomplishments spoke for themselves. According to Stephen A., the biggest weakness in the argument for LeBron isn't simply a lack of evidence. He believes the emotional investment of many supporters often overshadows an objective comparison. He argues that the conversation has shifted away from basketball and become something much more personal. Stephen A. concludes by saying the GOAT debate is about more than statistics or highlight reels. In his opinion, it's about unquestioned dominance, and he believes Michael Jordan demonstrated that in a way no one else has. From championships and awards to reputation and competitive mentality, Stephen A. argues that Jordan's legacy stands on its own without constant justification. Meanwhile, he believes LeBron supporters continue to explain away setbacks and reinforce their case with new narratives. To Stephen A., the debate was settled long ago. If you agree with Stephen A.'s perspective, hit the like button. Leave a comment below saying whether MJ is the GOAT, and subscribe to NBA Showdown for more NBA discussions and breakdowns.